I asked you all to join me in our dining room because this is the one place where we all seem to come together. Not just for meals, but for help with homework, or sit-down discussion about this and that, or for family game night. This is the place where our family gathers, and family is what matters most. My mother taught me that. She is a one-of-a-kind mom. I'm sure you think your mom is too, but have you met mine? She is smart, beautiful, embarrassing, and pretty dang cool all at the same time. However, her best attributes are her willingness to listen without judging, her strength to overcome anything, and her passion for her family. She came to me one day and said, "Chastity, I want to introduce you to one of my best friends, Jody Cass Stevens." I looked at her and I looked at Jody, and Jody and I began to laugh. I said, "Mom, I've been to school with Jody since I was in kindergarten. I know who Jody is." She is kind to everyone. That's how she is. She thinks everyone is her best friend. What she has experienced in her lifetime has provided her with the ability to listen to what you have to say without casting stones. And that's what makes you feel safe to let your heart flow and let her in. She grew up as the oldest of 6 children in a 2-bedroom home. There were 4 girls in 1 bedroom sleeping in 2 sets of bunk beds, and a brother sleeping in an attic bedroom, and 1 child yet to come. Ironically, there weren't too many arguments over whose shoes were whose or whose jeans belonged to which sibling, because each child had 1 pair of jeans and 2 pairs of shoes, church shoes and school shoes. In today's society, and even in the 1960s, those conditions would have been considered poor. Oddly enough, if you ask my mom, she and her siblings would tell you they had no idea they were poor. They were a tight-knit group who shared their every thought and feeling openly and honestly, which laid the foundation for the open ear she has provided so many since without passing judgment. Her motto is, "Just tell me, I've probably already done it, and it's okay." As a 5th grade girl, she was sexually molested by her next-door neighbor, who was not only a neighbor, but a trusted family friend. While in middle school, she was molested by a teacher while at school. As an adult, she was both physically and mentally abused by 2 of her 4 husbands. Through the years, she not only bore the brunt of the abuse and the effects such abuse can have on you, but raised 2 children, shielding them from any harm. I learned bits and pieces of these offenses through the years, and each time I received a new tidbit of information, was even more amazed at where we were compared to where we could have been. In lieu of letting the abuse encumber her, she elected to push forward, never look back, and overcome all the guilt, trust, self-worth, and general issues that come along with such abuses. I cannot be prouder of the woman she has been, is today, and will continue to be from this day forward. Family. Now that is where the heart is. My mother has a large family, and each morning she talks on the phone to at least 2 of her siblings. I have no idea what they talk about, but she hasn't arrived at work on time, ever, although she does stay late on most occasions. Once, during a yearly review at work, she told me she received a perfect score. I asked, "How on earth does that happen when you don't arrive at work on time?" She said, "Well, I stay late, and they know I try really hard." She maintains a very active lifestyle and attends all extracurricular activities of all 3 teenage and preteen grandchildren. My son and I have both warned her that prior to attending any golf match this season, she must first exchange her 6-inch high-heeled shoes for flats, which she's not too thrilled about, and under no circumstances would her bangle bracelets be allowed on the golf course. They would not only be distracting to everyone there, but a total embarrassment should we hear her coming from the parking lot. She also extends her warmth to her nieces and nephews and attends their plays and sporting events as well. The Ward family doesn't include her children and grandchildren. She also sends birthday cards to each and every uncle, aunt, brother-in-law, cousin on a yearly basis. One cousin we see quite regularly in town always says, "You remember my birthday every year. How do you do that? You're such a sweet little youngin'." She has taught me that the more you love, the greater the return. Through all her trials and tribulations, her days and evenings are spent first on family events, and there are at least 1 a day, and second on community services. After reading a newspaper article several years ago about a woman who was chained and then placed in a dog crate in the back of her husband's truck and then spat on by her husband, my mother called me. It was around 7:30 in the morning, and she was crying uncontrollably. I could barely understand what she was trying to tell me she had just read. The end of the article said the lady did not press charges against her husband. She wanted to contact the woman and let her know that no matter what he tells you, no matter how badly he treats you, you can leave. Living in the backseat of your car, by yourself, with your children, is better than being treated inhumanely or like an animal by being chained and left in a dog crate. You are a human being, and no man or woman should ever treat any other human being with such hatred. This story led her to a string of phone calls asking community leaders how she can help abused women and children better their situations. Today, she is the former chairman of the Shepherd's House in Mount Airy, who provides housing to families without homes until they are able to find jobs and permanent living quarters. She still serves on various committees of the Shepherd's House and other related community outreach programs. She is by far the very person I want to be when I grow up.